Welcome to Video Game Flash Fiction. This is a 90-minute writing game where I randomly select one of these Atari 2600 cartridges, slot it in the console, write an original Flash Fiction story, read it aloud at the end. Let's go ahead and select that game. We'll do it randomly with 2 dice. I have 6 columns from 1 to 6. I have a 6-sided dice here. Column 2 right here. I have a 10-sided dice. I have 10 rows from top to bottom, 1 to 10. Let's roll this dice. 2. Got to do a little bit of digging today, but we'll get this cartridge out. We'll slot it in. If it works, we'll create a story from it. No idea what that story is going to be. And we need 2. 1, 2. Wow. A little bit deep. A little bit down there. And what do we got? What do we have? Oh boy. For today's video game Flash Fiction story, we have this lovely game called PORKY'S. Yeah, this was a adult. Oh, I gotta put in a handle today. I was slacking. I was being lazy. Hopefully I put in the one that's not broke. Let's see. Hopefully. Just wasted my own time. Let's plug this handle in. And let's turn this on. I have no idea what just happened there. It looks like someone jumped on something to blow something up. And here we go. PORKY'S. All right, I'm some person in blue pants, black hair, white shirt. Can I jump? Whoa, what the fudge? Okay, so I jumped. There was some river. I fell down into the river. What do I do? I mean... Whoa, I did something there. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm on this side. What does that mean? What can I do? All right, let's try this again. I'm stuck. Like, there's some dog bone or something up above me. I fell down into a... What do I do? That's cool. Like, there's a big stick and I'm jumping across it. Oh, there I go. Okay. I got something. Wow, I'm pretty amazing. Like, I can use this stick to go across the river. If I do that, a really loud, annoying sound happens. Like, what's going on? Huh. I am perplexed. Okay, I think I got this motion down. Like, I'm in a pit of something. This is not a... Oh, fudge, man. I feel like... And then the frickin' thing appears there. I thought I got that already. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Yes! Okay. Now what? Like, I don't have any... I can go and I can do this. It can hang from a wall. I really... Do I have to go on like the others one? Maybe I'm going to try that. Oh, this is so not fun. Maybe? Okay. I'm lost. Do I have to do this so many times? What the frack? Oh. Man, this is kind of frustrating. Because I feel like... Oh my god. Do I have to like build this ladder up by getting these like rungs? I bet so. This is kind of lame. Okay, so I get that. What does that do to me, though? It doesn't do anything for me. Let's try this. Okay, I think that went up one. Is this like the whole game? Okay, so I'm pretty good at this vaulting. This is kind of fun, I guess. This is the whole game. I mean, at least my experience on it. I'm just through with it, though. Alright, I'm going to do levels. I don't think there's any other new levels. So what do we got here? We have a car, we have some boat in a river. Then we have some car on a road, and then we have some people maybe on a sidewalk. And there's some big sign flashing that says PORKY'S. Okay. I don't get the boat. Maybe I can avoid... I don't want to do that. Because then I have to build up these ladders with what I think are like rungs. Flashing right there. Can I get on the boat? What the like, I don't... How do I sometimes have this thing work? Okay, PORKY'S. Let's open a file. Let's give this game a break for a moment. Because I'm just confused. Yeah. Why would you create a game off this? 80s movie, was it? PORKY'S. Okay. So far with PORKY'S, the only scenes. Now, what if I just sort of let this go? What happens? There's like some cop car. There's some boat on a river, and then we got some people, women, maybe pink. They're pink, so of course they gotta be in an 80s. Can I jump? I don't know. I'm gonna blame the joystick. I'm gonna plug in another joystick and see what happens. Uh-oh. I mean, this is not going to be much of a story. Oh, I think this is the broke one. I keep on playing with. Yeah. Poor choice. Let's get rid of this. Just trying to play a game. All right, let's plug in this one. This seems to be staining my hand like it's... Oh, it's the bottom. That's gross. Yeah, that's really gross. That's not cool. It's like so old. The rubber pads on the bottom are rubbing off and sticking all over my hand. Fantastic, but I gotta do that on the other side, I think. Because I get that, and then I can go. I think I can go now to the other side. I don't get the. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I gotta do. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try to do this. Now I got some sort of momentum. I think I gotta build up the other side. Yes. All right. I think I know what I need to do. Ah, fudge you, dude. I don't need to do it right there. I just. Urgh. I don't want to do that, you know? Like, what the Maybe I should write the story. What is the story? You fall into a river, you fall into some subterranean place, and you got to build up a ladder. And I guess to get to the other side, and these are like the stages to get to a place called PORKY'S. Now, I know what PORKY'S is as far as pop culture is concerned. In the movie PORKY'S, it was a very sort of like 80s teenage romp about, oh my God. I can't remember. I've seen PORKY'S before. I really can't remember a scene where they're have to vault across a cesspool in the basement of some, I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to, all right. I'm just trying. So you build up the ladder. You probably get to the other side. You make your way to PORKY'S. They don't. Not in this story. I'm not successful enough. I'm not that cool. There's no other levels. There's obviously, as I think is what you do, is you fall down in that pit. For some reason, you survive, and that river turns into a puddle at the bottom. You probably build up the ladder to get to the other side, and then maybe a cop car hits you, or you got another police station or something. I would see those as the levels right there. And that looks like a cop car to me. That's what I'd at least associate that middle blue thing that's riding from right to left. And then there's two pink things, which, given this was in the 80s, anytime you see pink, you got to assume female because you got gender role colors. Of course, until Miami Vice came out and Don Johnson looked really cool in pink, then even my dad started wearing pink. Way to go, Miami Vice. Break the color gender barrier. But PORKY'S was a film. I think there's a couple of them afterwards, but there was a couple legendary scenes. I think there was some, there's... it was one of those, I think it was an R-rated film. In comparison to a lot of today's film, would probably be more like PG-13. If I remember right, it was about a riverboat. That's right. But I don't know that. If I were looking at this the first time, was it a riverboat? Shit, I can't remember. Doesn't matter. It looks like a building on the other side called PORKY'S. If I saw that name PORKY'S, the first thing I would think of is a diner. Like, I want to go eat food and they serve pork. So they're called PORKY'S. I don't know why I want to go there so badly, because right now, if I had to cross this river, fall down, build up a ladder, then cross the street with a police car that's probably going to hit me and put me into another scene, and then try to cross another thing with two things that look like people that could be women because they're pink, or maybe they're just fashionable dudes that are into Miami Vice during the 80s. That doesn't exist, though, because that's way too much intellectual property for this story right here. Let's break it down. Who am I? I kind of look like an old dude the way that I'm standing. It looks like I got one of those hats. Don't even know the type of hat. Looks like I had a hat on. Looks like I got like a lean forward, like my back hurts. Like I got my hand on my back. And when I fall down into a pit. And then I got to build up a ladder. What time do I got? Fudge, I supposed to start writing. Oh, man. Rubber on the bottom of that is rubbing off on my hand. This is the intensity and sweat and pain. PORKY'S. Geez. Like one of those times you really wish you had the introduction manual, but you know that would be breaking the rules. Or a keyboard. I could probably play this game a little bit easier with a keyboard than that joystick. It has slow reaction time. I'm going to blame the tools. It's not me. It's the joystick's fault, not my inability to use it. Or ability to have attention span to try to build up a ladder. I just don't have time. All right, so there's a river, there's a road, there's a sidewalk, and there's PORKY'S, and I got to cross all three. If I fall down in the river, maybe it's like the sewer. I guess I'm just going to call it like they want a pork sandwich. That's why it's called PORKY'S. And there's like, even on the cover art, I realize, I think PORKY'S was a gambling establishment. I can't remember if it was a riverboat. I thought it was a riverboat. It's supposed to be, I think the story took place in Louisiana, maybe? I mean, this is quite a while ago. So my memory's vague on this. But reminiscent enough because it was a very common very preteen movie, at least in my teens. Everyone wanted to see PORKY'S. For here, it's just some old dude that's trying to get across the river, the road, the sidewalk to get to PORKY'S to have some pork. All right, well, let's do this. PORKY'S. PORKY'S pulled pork sandwich. Ooh, I like the alliteration. PORKY'S pulled pork sandwich. Provoked. Paul. It's like a little pontoon boat, right? If this is, I think that's what it's called, pontoons, maybe. Let's go look that up because I've realized how stupid I am at times, most of the time. I mean, we all are. Sorry, everybody, and it's okay. I've embraced my stupidity. And with that embracement, though, I can admit to when I should do things that will help my stupidity be less. Pontoon. I'm not thinking of the right boat, am I? Pontoon boat. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm thinking of. I'm like thinking one of those swamp boats. It could be, maybe. What if I typed in swamp boat? I get it. It's an airboat, swamp boat. It is a swamp boat. Swamp boat tours. Looks like a swamp boat. It definitely looks like a swamp boat. Swamp boat, police car, and maybe someone on roller skates. Maybe it's the maybe they're like those people that wave signs on the side of the road and spin them to get you to go look at the sign to maybe pull off and go see the low-cost cell phones or the oil change that is $19.95 while you're driving down the road. And so these two pink people, genderized, well, it's a 4, so that's usually female. If it was a 1-2 male, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they're advertising for PORKY'S. They're like and the old man's an old man. We're just going to call him an old man and give the reason. The reason he also likes to go to PORKY'S is because it's got it satisfies the old person's perversion. And we'll get to that maybe. Maybe we won't, because I'm kind of lost on this, but that's okay. And I'm going to make this sort of silly. I'm not a huge alliteration fan. Not as much as this, because this gets jokey. Pulled pork. Porky's pulled pork sandwich provoked Paul to try to oh man. Oh, I'm sorry. Need some water. Refreshing. Now we just got to write a story within an hour. I don't know if that's going to happen today. Porky's pulled pork sandwich provokes Paul daily. Porky's new pulled pork sandwich provokes Paul. Now let's not say that. Excuse me. All right, I think that's a little bit better. Porky's new pulled pork sandwich, and the two women spinning the Porky's. Invokes, provokes Paul to pause. Along the river trail during his daily walk from the... That's a hell of a sentence. I get it. Old folks home. What's a like? Let's go senior living riverboat. Excuse me. It's gonna be one of those days. I don't know what that means. It's just gonna be one of those days. During his daily walk from the senior living riverboat, Paul sniffs. Hickory smoke flavored with pork fat. And glares and gazes. No, put young women. All right. Gazes at two young women wearing tight pink bodysuits, spinning the Porky's. Between hunger and lust, Paul stands. I mean, it seems to me like you're not going to try to catch the swamp boat going by, but maybe Paul knows a way. Like, why would you need a vault, though? That's, like, ridiculous. I think I'm going to have this be Louisiana. Maybe it's the, with the bridge. After, what am I thinking? A bezel? After, sorry, Louisiana, but you're known for corruption. I'm just going to continue with it. I don't know how to spell Louisiana off the top of my head, though. Louisiana. Is that right? Let's go for it. Louisiana. Let's go New Orleans. I'm not going to look that up right yet. City construction funds, city refurbishment. The bridge was still closed. Oh, and Paul needs to get back to watch. I'm going to throw this in the 80s. What's an 80s show? Would be an 80s show some old dude would watch and probably be like, oh my God, that's a manly man. Look at that. Oh my God, yes. I don't know. Magnum? PI. The mustache guy. The season finale of Magnum PI. Okay, so finally, finale. How do you spell finale? Is with an E, right? Finale? Finale? I don't know. I'm going to go with that. Okay. So it's in the walk to the next bridge. 10 miles away. Paul. Retired city worker. Who lost most their retirement after the city, after the government, after the state senators voted to privatize So Paul has no swamp boat to get them across the river. This is going to be a story with long sentences. Maybe like an old person's telling it. Like the dude right here that is very, very athletic. And because they are an old school sewer worker in New Orleans, they know how to do the vault. So it's not as if this is going to be weird. It is already weird. Like maybe that's supposed to represent the river, like side action. Let's go. I'm going to fall down there again. What the hell? I made it what the? Oh my God. If I get touched, maybe I always, oh my God. This is such an annoying game. This is like Frogger and Freeway a little bit. I see now. Wow, I get it. And I gotta change the story. No, this is still Paul. I'm gonna have the same story. But you can't stop. Once you stop your little dance across the... It's like he's doing the two-step shuffle. Like, give me oh, wow. If only I would have actually tried a little bit harder. Okay. That's not going to change the story. I found the story. But that's kind of cool. I don't know why you fall down into this and you have to build it up. That's just lame. Like, I would just reset the game the entire time. Like, I don't get the whole reason behind... Yeah, let's not think. Let's just write. I don't need to have a mind right now. I just have a story. I've got to write it out. A very confusing game. My opinion's changed of it. I don't hate it, but I don't understand why you would need this anymore. Like, this to me seems like if I was playing it and I mean, I guess if I had a joystick that worked better and I had a lot of time, this was the frustration and I guess the excitement behind these games. They're very simple, but they're very difficult, and there's really no end sometimes. I think there is to this story, because I remember the intro had this person like running, jumping on some dynamite, and I think they blow up Porky's, and I think they did that in the movie. I know there was like Porky's Revenge, Porkers, something like that. I mean, once the first one got any money, like any good, well, let's not say like any successful media venture, you're going to try to replicate just to bring in that money. Go producers, produce me some money. And I think that happened to Porky's, and like everything else. I think there's like the 20th Alien movie coming out that is just like all the other ones. I guess the new generation who has never seen an Alien movie or a Porky's movie would be like, wow, they should redo... God, please don't redo Porky's. Please, producers, don't redo Porky's. Maybe this game could be on the computer. I don't know how better. It could be a phone game. I guess all of these games could be on the phone. Instead, they're on this console right here, and I got to write a story. I'm going to keep to the original story, that there's only 3 lanes. And this is how they got across the river. Because I don't want to try to go the other place right yet. We'll play this game again during this stream. But let's write this story. So Paul, a retired worker who lost most of retirement after the state senators voted to privatize the retirement funds into their investment holdings and lost the money. So Paul has no money to pay a swamp boat Paul has no money. I don't need to sew. Paul has no money. But Paul knows the sewers. Paul climbs into a sewer drain. Under the road river. And the road. I'm almost a little bit disappointed, I'll be honest. I think I liked my version of the game where you basically had 3 obstacles you had to get by, and maybe there would be like 3 challenges. I don't know what the road would be. Like the road you have to jump over cars or something. And then the 3 somethings, the 2, like I'll make this the story. Having this endless traffic just it would have been cooler if this was it. In my mind, at least. And then each of these sort of sections had their own version of falling down into a pit and having to vault across back and forth to build up a ladder, which seems to be the case here. Paul climbs in the sewer drain under the road, river road. And let's have a different paragraph. Paul, a retired city worker who lost most of returnment after the state senators ordered the president, got in the sewer drain. Below, in the sewer below, the catwalk between over the cesspool, the sewage pool, the sewage river, called a sewage river, lays hanging from the ledges. I don't know if I'm going to have this need to pole vault back and forth to build up a ladder, but they're going to have to build a ladder. I just don't think they're going to go back and forth. They'll go like vault, grab it, vault back, and then vault and leap, and then they'll get the rung of the ladder. Okay, I can. This is the story just to get to Porky's. And I gotta have. I guess I can have, could have the police car chase him and try to. Yeah, I think I got something there. Again, I haven't personally experienced it, but all the media I've ever grown up with seems to indicate Louisiana, New Orleans, maybe Louisiana. Let's just not New Orleans. Good people, I'm sure. But I've always heard they've got corrupt city officials. Every media I've seen, news reports I've seen. So I'm going to go with that. Every city has corrupt city officials, but I feel like in American pulp culture, Louisiana, New Orleans, aren't exactly top of class when it comes to, well, not being corrupt. That said, There's a lot of corrupt city officials and government officials. I suppose that's how you have to get there. In the sewer, the catwalk between the ledges to the other side, and the other ladder lays hanging. Below, sewer? Sewer. We'll say that's how you spell sewer. If not, well, I can spell check this. Below, near the edge of the... Let's do this. Let's do it this way. Near the edge of the sewer river, lay an emergency pole to vault over the sewer river. Yeah, let's just do this. I'm not going to have the building up the ladder. They're going to have a rung they have to find on the other side. And to vault and leap to the ledge on the other side. Yeah. Let's just write this out. I think I got a flow. Well, the other side. The ladder on... Okay, so let's see. So Paul leaps down. Sets the vault. Grabs the vault. And runs to the ledge. His still strong legs and arms from daily walks and lifting pots and pans when on kitchen duty. And a lifetime of heavy labor. Flex those old man muscles. Tapping into their memory. And vaulting over the river. Body just feels disgusting today, by the way. It's like I got too much coffee right now. My nose is itching a little bit. I don't have allergies today, so hey, you know, I don't have to be self-conscious of how much I'm sniffing. I just have to be self-conscious of how much I'm burping today, which is utterly disgusting. So if it comes through, I apologize. Welcome to life. Welcome to getting older. Welcome to having a human body. He's still strong arms and legs from daily walks and a lifetime of heavy labor flex old man muscles tapping into their memory and vaulting over the river. Near the vault's apex. I think it's the apex, right? Apex? I don't know. I want to use that term right, so I'm going to look this up real quick. Define. I mean, there seems to be a lot of places around me that love to use the word apex. Yes, it's a top or height of part of something, especially when forming a point. To reach the point or climax, so it would be the apex of the vault. That would be the top, and that's where they're going to leap. I guess you do before the apex. Near the vault's apex. Paul's arms flex. I think this could be a story. One maybe very fitting for the 80s. At least what I remember of them being. Porky's is actually one. God, there was like one legendary scene that dealt with a hole that entered. Oh man, yeah. I was such a weird movie, and it dealt with a lot of like serious social issues. And I think the first one was pretty well produced for the 80s, if I remember right. Vaguely remember the second one. I'm pretty sure I seen that on the VH videotape years later when I was allowed to watch R-rated movies that are more PG or PG-13 for this day and age. Paul lowers to the river's edge and grabs the vault and runs to the edge. Okay, so Paul's arms flex and thrust him to the edge with the ladder. Paul trips over a rung of the ladder. Broken. Okay, so I imagine the the rush. Broken from rust. I was trying to spell rust, not rush or rung. Paul trips over a rung. Trips on a rung. You know, I guess you technically trip over it if you can trip on it, but you can also likewise trip over it. Paul trips over a rung of the ladder broken from the rust from the what would be like the service ladder? Paul climbs the ladder, stretching between missing rungs. Man, my body's having all issues. I guess normal issues, but now they're just being broadcast everywhere, and I don't have the mental control right now, nor the physical desire to refuse my want to rub an itch or have a very relieving burp. He climbs to the top of the rushing. Man, come on! I want to play this. Well, let's once I get to the road. The river and the road. On the road. Paul walks and sees. All right, so let's go ahead and play. I'm going to play this one more time. I'm feeling a little bit comfortable. I can get to the PORKY'S. I have like the one game mechanic. Like I gotta try slowing down. I keep on just doing my I'm resetting this. Maybe this was like the game where you just did, if you instead of doing the challenge of you dying, you just reset the game. Much like if I've missed the boss, I'll just start the game over again. Like there's got to be a timing on this. This is really annoying, I know, but it's all for a matter of science and story, not science. On the road, Paul sees. Let's reset it so I can see the road. Sheriff Nottingham swerving while counting the last of the businesses, of the local businesses. Paul sees. Paul tries to run, but his back. Oh, let's do that right here. He can't run that fast now because after Paul and tweaks his back. You want to go tweak? Slips a disc. I've never done that before, but I think it's painful. Slips a disc, in his back. What is that disc? It's in his back. Of his spine. Let's be more specific. Paul walks hunched. Paul shuffles. Hunches. And shuffles across the dirt road. Nah, it looks paved. and sees Sheriff Naughton swerving while counting the local business donations to the police retirement funds to ensure the police can protect their businesses. Paul tries to run, but Paul's slow shuffle. I mean, shuffle, if you're shuffling, that just already sort of defines the fact you're going to be slow. Paul's shuffle. Paul's shuffle reaches the edge. In the center of the road. No, the edge of the road. As the sheriff's car, the police car nears and swerves. After Sheriff Naughton drops the bundles of cash. I feel like the movie took place when they were all in high school. I just don't know, because I was thinking, like, how old would these women be if I were to use the movie as inspiration to cast age on all the other characters, and I believe they'd all be teenagers. Of course, teenagers played by probably people that were 30 years old. We'll just keep with the young women. Two dancing women before Porky's. I gotta go a little bit old man. I guess kinky. I don't know what to call it. Especially in the namesake of this. What inspired this video game and that? So watching the young women's bodies bounce and jiggle. And I don't need to do any more than that. It's like the R-rated 80s sex scenes. Was more innuendo. I think it's the word I'm looking for, at least. I don't know about you, but I'm looking for innuendo. There's something I don't know, that's not the right word, but that's okay. There's many of them. I can fix and find the right word later. Paul smiles watching the young women's bodies bounce and jiggle toward the money, toward the dollars landing on the road. The police car bounces to the road, bounces on the sidewalk, and skids to a stop. Sheriff Naughton shoves the piles of the donation and slaps a few dollar bills. Pulling out his pistol. I think, I'm going to leave that just away. I'm not going to do much more with it. When I mean away, I think I might just have them in there get the pulled pork sandwich. I think he's going to have his money, maybe. Oh, he's not. So maybe, no, there's no game mechanic about the money. That's my additional story. I can leave that interaction there, and they go inside Porky's and they have their pulled pork sandwich and really like it. But do they get back to see the Magnum PI? Maybe they get arrested. That might be more fun. Maybe, I think that's going to be it. I think he's going to try to help the young women. I think so. Paul. A sexually excited Paul. Stands against the pane of the slip disc. And walks to the sheriff. And the young women. Let's just get a very vague 80s sense of what it would be for a description that gets like that nowadays it's what you see everywhere. Even on children's shows. Or everywhere in anime. Which is totally fine with me. Young women standing with their arms raised, showing their what's a word? Let's just, I want to repeat the same word. Let's get it, because I got I don't want No, let's not go there. Let's just go, maybe, I don't know. An arm raised. Like, I want to say something like, that would be so 80s. Then I'd have to, well, why not? I don't think it's so horrible and their nipples poking. It's like a very 80s thing. R-rated movie, boom. I don't think it makes R-rated content now. They're young women. And this is for, inspired by this. God, what a weird movie. Yeah, it's just such a, I think I've seen it once. It had a lot more social commentary than I thought when I originally thought it'd be. I thought it'd be like some, I don't know. That's too distant to remember my exact thoughts. And if I said them now, they'd probably be incorrect. But I think there's a lot of racial undertones to it. I think there was like, you had, yeah, someone got beat up at PORKY'S and they blew it up for some reason. And there's a lot of like, I believe I don't think they're in college. I think they were in high school, which makes it even more weird if they're in high school with some of the scenes that I'm thinking of right now. Especially because everyone in that movie, even my memories, seemed like they were 30 years old. Like I've said again, like an old person today, I'm repeating. Sexually excited Paul stands against the pain of a slip disc and walks to the sheriff and the young women standing with their arms. Okay, so let's put a comma. Just say the young women's. I'm going to go there. I'm sure on any gaming channel there's going to be a video game with some woman with unnaturally sized breasts. Not unnaturally. Atypically sized breasts. Doing some swift action in some tight piece of armor, clothing, or even a bodysuit. So I don't think this is too far out of the realm of sexualized what you're going to find else places. And it goes to PORKY'S too. Not that I mind those graphics. That's up to you if you want to be entertained by that. And I like, old Dungeons and Dragons art, and it seems, I think it was Larry Elmore. I don't want to paste the wrong artist, but every single artist there seemed to also enjoy. And when I was younger, I did as well. So, I had artwork that was a little bit much like video games today, but goddamn, all that artwork was just beautiful too. Beyond the women they had into it. I don't want to reminisce about that artwork because I got this game to play right here, and I'm feeling really awkward at this point in time. I'm getting too involved in the subject matter. That is not the point of the story. The point of the story is Paul wants that pulled pork sandwich. Paul's mind conflicts between the fumes of food and the distant memories of a more vigorous life. He shouts, "Sheriff, yeah, we'll just say says. I don't need everyone to shout today. I should have. Let's not do that today. I was thinking that I should have this person be burping like I am right now off microphone. Oof. Yeah. Gamify the human body, I suppose. Of course, this game, you have side effects. Gamify it by consuming caffeine to wake the mind quicker than if you were just to not do it and train your mind to slowly wake. But given when you wake up during the morning, you feel like you have to be doing something right then and there is no time for a break of the mind or the body or the action, that you then ingest this stimulant, thing that stimulates or cuts off your regions of the mind that thinks you're sleepy. Yeah, rambling, ranting, like this old man. We gotta have the old man ranting back. So they're just trying to. My what? The sheriff points the pistol at. Might be like the 38. So they used to carry 38s, if I remember. I think because they didn't go through walls. But then, what fun is that? You can't shoot through a wall. While you're trying to shoot at somebody. What'd you say? All right, so let's go. Paul stands before the guns, hoping the two young women see him as a hero. View this. Payout, retirement, don't know what they call it. That's what I thought you said. Holsters. You're no Magnum PI. Well, I think I've seen Columbo twice. It's been the same one. Probably on TNT or some sort of rerun channel. But what's a police show that would be like, You're No Magnum PI or Don Johnson? Or what's Don Johnson's character? Tubbs? No, it wasn't Tubbs. It was Crockett. Let's see. I'm going to check this. Crockett and Tubbs. Sonny. You know Sonny Crockett. Boom. Yes. That's going to be the other reference. You know, because private investigator is different than a police officer, even though this one was undercover. You know Magnum P.I. or Sonny Crockett. The in tight bodysuits, the smell hickory and pulled pork. And the season, because then you couldn't like just watch it. You'd have to get on the reruns. You'd have to. I think is what they usually did is they did reruns, and they sort of played the episodes again, and then before the next season, they would probably play the season finale of the previous season, so you remembered it. So like it would end in spring, summertime, no new movies, rerun, fall hit, and then they'd have this, you know, at least that's how I remember it. Okay, that's the story. Boom. Doesn't get it. All right, I'm going to play this just one more time. And then I'm going to read this story aloud. And then I think the video game flash fiction will be done for this day. Okay. Like this. I wonder if it's just inevitable you have to go into the sewer. Maybe there's really no way to get across this thing. And you have to build up this ladder, and this is like the stage to get I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the time in life to find out. But I do get Paul makes it. Wherever that may be, he's there. For Porky's. Yeah. I really like the cover art of the cartridge. I think they did have those like neon pigs on the sign of Porky's in the movie. Not that there's really a pork. There probably was. I'm sure someone opened up a Porky's sometime and probably played off the movie a little bit. Please AI, don't try to remake Porky's. I'm sure you will. Just, I don't know. Try to resist. Anyway. Let's see if my body lets me read this through. It might not. It may have to burp more. But I think I'm through that right now. Sorry for, TMI, but hey. These are thoughts that go into writing things that inspire stories. So for full disclosure, I talk of what I'm thinking and feeling at this point in time. All right, let's do this. For today's a video game flash fiction story inspired by the Atari 2600 game called PORKY'S. PORKY'S. PORKY'S new pulled pork sandwich and two women spinning the PORKY'S pork signs across the river and the road provokes Paul to pause along the river trail during his daily walk from the senior living riverboat. Paul sniffs the hickory smoke flavor with the pork fat and gazes at the two young women wearing tight pink bodysuits spinning the new PORKY'S pork sign. Between hunger and lust, Paul stands at the river's edge. After the New Orleans city canceled embezzled city refurbishment funds improved to... Wow. All right. I'm going to read this sentence once, then I'm going to have to go back and do it again. After the New Orleans city council embezzled city refurbished funds to... Yeah, I just need to correct it, because I can read over mistakes, because there's more than one, like this double the cities. Let's possess this. Like, the more mistakes there are, the further I get away from... To improve, for improvements. The broken bridge. Okay. Let's do this one more time. If I get past the first paragraph and I mess up, I'll try to fix it on the fly. Welcome to being human. Again, video game flash fiction. PORKY'S. PORKY'S. The new pulled pork sandwich and the two women spinning the PORKY'S pork signs across the river and the road provokes Paul to pause along the river trail during his daily walk from the senior living boat. Paul sniffs the hickory smoke flavor with pork fat and gazes at the two young women wearing tight pink bodysuits, spinning the new PORKY'S pork sign. Between hunger and lust, Paul stands at the river's edge. After the New Orleans City Council embezzled the city's refurbishment funds for improvements on the city members' homes, the broken bridge across the river remains closed, and Paul needs to get back to the senior living center to watch the season finale of Magnum P.I., and the walk to the next bridge is 10 miles away. And Paul wants some pulled pork. And look closer at those two young women. Paul, a retired city worker who lost most of their retirement after the state senators voted to privatize the funds into their investment holdings and lost the money, has no money to pay a swamp boat to get across the river to PORKY'S, but Paul knows the sewers. Paul climbs into the sewer drain and under the riverboat road. In the sewer, the catwalk over the sewage river to the other side and the other ladder to the other side hangs. Near the edge of the sewer river below lay an emergency pole to vault over the sewer river and vault to the edge of the ladder to the other side. Paul lowers to the river's edge and grabs the vault and runs along the edge. His still strong arms and legs from daily walks and a lifetime of heavy labor flex old man muscles, tapping into the memory and vaulting over the river. Near the vault's apex, Paul's arms flex and thrust him to the edge with the ladder. Paul trips over a rung from the service ladder, broken from the rusted ladder, and slips a disc in his spine. Paul climbs the ladder, feeling pain, stretching between missing rungs, and feeling the ladder shake and wobble. He climbs to the top of the rushing river and opens the service hatch between the road and the river. On the road, Paul hunches and shuffles across the dirt road and sees Sheriff Naughton swerving while counting the local businesses' donations to the police retirement funds to ensure the police protect their businesses from the police. Paul's shuffle reaches the edge of the road, and the police car nears and swerves after the sheriff drops the bundles of cash on the floor of the car, and a few bills fly out of the wind. The two dancing young women before PORKY'S drop their signs and rush to the money. Paul smiles, watching the young women's bodies bounce and jiggle toward the dollars landing on the road. The police car bounces on the sidewalk and skids to a stop. Sheriff Nine shoves the pile of donation dollars from his laps and wobbles to the sidewalk, pulls out his revolver. That is police money. A sexually excited Paul stands against the pain of the slip disc and walks to the sheriff and the young women whose nipples poke from the bodysuits. Paul's mind conflicts between his want for pulled pork and the distant memories of a more vigorous self and youthful life. He says, "Sheriff, leave those young women alone. They're just trying to help you collect and pick up your payoff." "My what?" The sheriff points to 38 Special at Paul. Paul stands before the gun, hoping the two young women see him as a hero. The sexual ego pumps Paul to say, "Payout, retirement, don't know what you call it these days." "That's what I thought you said." The sheriff holsters his gun and handcuffs Paul. Paul shouts, "You're no Magnum P.I. or Sonny Crockett." The sheriff shoves Paul into the car and drives Paul away from the young women in tight pink bodysuits and the hickory smell of the pulled pork and the season finale of Magnum P.I. That was today's video game flash fiction story. Oh, the memories had and the expression of how I feel right now been told. Let's add this first to the memory, and then let's save it. And there we have it. Let's go ahead and turn off the game. I guess the only thing I have to say now is you may never know where inspiration comes. Sometimes it'll be in nostalgia. Sometimes it'll be in a video game.